Hello, hi everyone. Welcome back to Game Pharmacology. So, in this session, let us learn about a very important topic that has been asked many times in your exams. So, myself, Dr. Padmanabha, TS. So, let's move on to the clinical trial phases. So, in case of clinical trial, please remember, in case of the clinical trials, so please remember, clinical trial is an intermediary stage. So first we'll do animal experiment. Initially, when we choose a compound, we'll be doing a animal experiment. Once the animal experiment proves if the benefits are existing, that drug or the candidate molecule will be taken into the clinical trials. From the clinical trials, if that candidate molecule passes all the phases, it will be marketed. It will be marketed as an approved drug, as a approved drug. So the candidate molecule which is taken for animal experiment, they are called as preclinical study, preclinical study, preclinical study. And please remember, so once the animal experiments have proven some benefit, the drug industry will apply for investigational new drug application. So only after receiving the investigational new drug approval, the candidate molecule can be taken up for clinical trial. So clinical trial is done in humans. So please remember, there are four phases of clinical trials. So let us see one by one. So there is a phase phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, and we have phase 4. So phase 1 is first in humans. Phase 2 is first in patients, and also this phase 3 will also be done on the patients, and phase 4 will be the drug will be marketed, and there will be exposure into the general population. So from the animal experiment to reach the phase 1, you need to get a investigational new drug application approval. So in case of first in humans, that is phase 1, so it is done on the healthy human volunteers whereas this is done on the patients. Again, this will be done on the patients. So what will be the difference here? So usually phase 1 is done on the healthy volunteers, amounting up to 10 to 100, and here phase 2, which is first in patient, here the number may vary from 50 to 500, whereas in phase 3 it will be 500 to 5,000, and this will be the larger population. So what you are going to assess in phase 1? So mainly you are going to check for the safety and tolerability. So in the healthy volunteers, you are going to check for dose ranging where it will give a information about the maximum ceiling dose. Whereas in case of phase 2, it is the efficacy. You're going to check for efficacy in the patient. So that's why they are called as therapeutic exploratory study. They're called as therapeutic exploratory study, where you're going to assess the efficacy of the drug on the limited number of the patient. Whereas in case of phase 3, it is called as therapeutic confirmatory study. That means you're going to confirm the efficacy. You're going to confirm the efficacy in larger group of patient. So, and phase 1 is a open label study. It is a open label study. Whereas phase 2, it can be of randomized control study. It can be open or blinded. Whereas in case of the phase 3, it is randomized. Please remember, it is a randomized double blinded study. So the information which we get from phase 3 will be more accurate, and it is confirmatory about the efficacy of the drug which has been chosen into the clinical trial. So once we get a satisfactory result from the phase 3, so after phase 3, we're going to apply for new drug application to the authority or the agency, and those authority will give permission based on the information which will be provided based on the phase 3 report. So once the new drug application is approved, it will be licensed for or approved for marketing. So phase 3 is also called as post marketing surveillance. Where we are going to study what we are going to study here. We are going to study the any unknown or the rare side effects which were not seen during the earlier phases of the clinical trials. So this was about the important things you should remember under clinical trials. So apart from that, you should also remember there is one more phase, that is phase 0. So what do you understand by phase 0? Phase 0 is usually done before the phase 1. Why it has to be done before the phase 1? It is also called as suboptimal dose study. So what you are going to do in phase 0 is you are going to select the 1 by 100th of the human dose, or maximum of 100 micrograms of the total dose, and you're going to check for the pharmacokinetics information in humans. If the pharmacokinetic information in humans are favorable, if it is favorable, next it will be taken into phase 1 phase 1. If it is not favorable, so study will be stopped here itself. So phase 0 is done just before phase 1 to check for the pharmacokinetic information in the humans. If it is favorable, the candidate molecule will be taken for phase 1 study. If it is not favorable, the study will be stopped here itself, so that you can avoid spending more money as well as the human power into the subsequent clinical trial phases. So just to recapitulate, clinical trials, they have got 4 phases: phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, phase 4. So when we will do the clinical trial, only after the preclinical study. So just before applying to the clinical trial, you need to submit for investigational new drug. So this will be done on healthy volunteers. Phase 2 will be done in the patients. Phase 3 will be done in the patients, and phase 3 will be in the general population. And what will be the number here? It will be around 10 to 100. Here it will be 50 to 500. It will be 500 to 5000. So basically we're going to check for the safety and tolerability. Here we are going to check for the efficacy. Here in phase 3 we are going to confirm the efficacy. We are going to confirm the efficacy. And in phase 3 we are going to evaluate for any rare or unknown side effects. So this is open label study. So this is randomized. It can be open or it can be blinded. Again, here phase 3 will be randomized, double controlled, blinded study. So before the drug is marketed, you're going to apply for new drug application, and only after this approval it will be marketed. So this is phase 4, is also called as post marketing surveillance, which is related to the pharmacovigilance. So this was about the class on the clinical trial phases. So these are very important topic you should remember. So each one of this what we discussed can come as your MCQs. Please remember. So it will yield a good results if you know the phases of clinical trials in your examination. Thank you.